Hey guys, I just wanted to do a brief prelude to our first episode of the rebranded podcast. If you've been listening prior, you'll know that this podcast was first introduced as the Eco-Conscious Diver Show. At the time of its launching, I was working full-time in the scuba diving industry and combining conservation with diving for work. Since then, I've opened my own business, Eco-Conscious Diver, as well as opened a second business, McCall Digital Marketing, which has allowed me to work with brands and help amplify other voices in this industry as well. So for this reason, I wanted to expand my impact to a greater audience and into the greater eco-conscious community. So thank you so much for being a part of the journey, and without further ado, let's dive into the first EcoBiz episode and the 24th episode of this podcast show. This is episode 24 with Caitlin McCall. Welcome to the EcoBiz show. I'm your host, Caitlin, eco-business entrepreneur, digital marketing expert, PADI scuba instructor, and science communications specialist. I'm here to remind you that being eco-conscious is cool, learning about the environment can be fun, and climate change isn't a dirty phrase. Each week, I'll be getting up close and personal with thought leaders from around the globe as your weekly dose of motivation so you can create epic change in your own life and become the best version of yourself possible. Are you ready to dive? What's up, everybody? If you're listening to this right now, this is an opportunity to join in with the eco community. Make sure to subscribe on the website to stay up to date on future episodes, free learning resources, and our unique online course titled A Complete Introduction to Marine Conservation, which gives you all of the tools you'll need to get started, plus 2 PADI conservation certifications. Head over to the website www.eco-consciousdiver.com to learn more and enroll. This episode is packed with insight into sustainable swaps for your home and travel, and a brief insight into recyclables. I hope you'll enjoy this podcast with Amanda, owner of Me Mother Earth. Hey, Amanda, how are you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you, Caitlin?
I'm good. I'm so excited to have you on the show today to talk about Me Mother Earth and everything that you're doing there. But I want to start with a quick intro question, which is, what is your favorite activity to do outside?
Well, I do love the ocean, but I live in Las Vegas, so typically you'll find us hiking with our rescue pup. So that's probably our favorite thing to do here. But if I was someplace tropical, definitely be in the water doing something, snorkeling or scuba diving or something like that.
Awesome. Oh, that's so cool. I always say when I go to Vegas that I'm going to branch out from the city and go do all the amazing outdoor stuff that you guys have there. So I'm going to have to do that next time.
Yeah, definitely. It's a different vibe. That's for
Yeah.
sure.
Um, so, Me Mother Earth is an online retailer. You guys have a lot of eco-friendly products, a lot that you create yourselves, and you also source and have a lot of other products on your site as well. Tell me a little bit about a brief intro to your business and how this really came to life.
Yeah, absolutely. So we started with just one product. My husband and I are huge travelers. He's actually Brazilian. And so we love to travel, and we started to realize, like, whoa, plastic is seriously an issue. And when you're on the go, you use a lot more of it. So what are like some small things that we can do to kind of just reduce our personal waste when we're traveling? And then we created a collapsible straw and cutlery set, which is really portable. It fits in your pocket. So a lot of the cutlery sets that are out there are really bulky. My mom had gifted me like a stainless steel straw, and I was like, this is a great idea, but I'm not going to carry this around. So I wanted something that was practical. So we started with that, was our very first product. And it comes with, a foldable knife, a foldable spork, and then 2 collapsible straws, because you're never alone. You're usually, with your partner or friend. And it literally just, it fits in like your pocket, or it has like a little keychain clip for you to clip it onto whatever bag or whatever you're using. So it started with that. And then we just started to notice, the bigger issue, like everything in our home is made of plastic. And like these things that we're using every day, like toothbrushes, floss, like what else can we swap out? So then we started to expand based on our own personal needs. So all of our products in our store I use personally, and they're kind of my favorites. But obviously we carry a wide variety because different strokes for different folks. What works for one person won't work for the next. And sustainability is a process.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, going back to your initial product, I think that's such a good place for people to start because I feel like whenever I started becoming like hyper aware of all this stuff. And then I would meet out my friends for lunch at a place that you would think would have regular silverware. And then all of a sudden you're using a plastic fork when you didn't plan on that happening.
Yep.
Oh,
And
all the
it,
time. I'm like, why do these people not have regular silverware? I wasn't planning for this, Great.
Yep. So I always have like one in my car, one in my purse. Like I have them scattered around so that I can always be prepared. And it's something it's really simple, but think about how many times you go out to lunch and that happens, and then multiply that by everyone. If we all made these simple steps, it would make a huge impact over time.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love how, speaking of kind of like travel components, I know that you guys sent me an awesome little travel kit. It had like a travel brush, and deodorant and floss and the bamboo toothbrush and everything in it. And even little toothpaste tabs. And that is so important. I just cringe when I go by the travel section at our pharmacy with all of the plastic and all these tiny little bottles, and just everything that people take traveling. It's all plastic. And I think that's such an important thing to switch out.
Yeah, absolutely. And one thing that's really great about a lot of the zero waste products is you're swapping out for something that's a little bit waterless. So like the toothpaste tablets, they basically taken toothpaste and like taken all the other crap out and like turned it into a solid form. So we also have like shampoo and conditioner bars, which I wish I had discovered earlier in my life because you're not lugging around like bottles of shampoo and conditioner that can like leak out in your bag, and you don't have to separate the liquids. Everything's kind of in solid form. So it makes traveling like way easier. I pack so much lighter. It's really minimal. And I have everything that I need.
Yeah. And I mean, you don't have to worry about can I carry this on or not because it's a solid. So if you don't want to
Mm-hmm.
bag, it's so much better. I love sometimes just taking a big carry-on and not checking a bag. So
Oh
that's
yeah.
really a
Yeah. We almost 99% of all of our trips we carry on because we just want to be close to our personal belongings as well and get off that flight and get going to our adventures. But yeah, it just makes it so much easier. And like a lot of the products are concentrated. So like a shampoo and conditioner bar, they last between like 50 to 80 washes. So like normally you're traveling with, I don't know, if you're carrying on, you can only have 3 ounces. So then if you're a longer trip, you're going to have to buy something, which is likely going to be in plastic. Or if you're checking a bag, I guess then you have to carry the full bottle. And then that's so much weight added.
Yeah, it's crazy. Just it really all adds up.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is something that you're going to use like for the rest of your life. Imagine how many shampoo and conditioner bottles you went through in your lifetime until now.
Ugh, I just cringe thinking about, I'm from Texas, and I just feel like people just don't talk about that stuff. And even growing up, I mean, with concerns to like environmentalism, the only thing we ever heard about was the rainforest. It was all of
Hmm.
the rainforest. And I don't know if it's just because I grew up so inland, but no one even said anything about plastic straws or plastic anything. Uh,
Yeah.
and so many of my Texas friends, are constantly using all this plastic stuff, even using plastic plates and stuff in their houses just to avoid washing dishes and all
Oh
this.
my.
Oh, yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
I cringe looking back at like all this time that I didn't realize what I was doing, you know,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
I
But
hope they
now you know.
close, you know.
Yeah, now you know, and now you can start taking, small steps to just kind of like overall reducing your waste. I mentioned before, my husband's Brazilian, so his journey started a lot later than mine. I'm from Seattle area, so we always were kind of a little green there. Everyone recycles food waste. Usually, you have a yard bin, so you have like compost already that the city picks up. So things like that, like were already a normal thing. And reusable bags, I think we got rid of plastic bags like forever ago. I just always remember using reusable bags. But my husband coming from Brazil, like that's definitely not the norm. It's all about convenience because we live busy lives. So once you start thinking about like, oh, where did this product come from and where is it going to be after? And then finding out that, plastic's going to be around for 500 plus years. Um, I mean, that's scary. It's scary to think like when I purchase this, if I can't recycle it or I can't upcycle it or reuse it in some other fashion, like this is going to stick around for 500 plus years. And like, what kind of planet am I going to leave our future kids?
Oh yeah, and you just look at like, you know, a lot of this trash gets exported to these underdeveloped countries, and you just see these scenes of places like in Bali, some of the lesser used beaches are just
Hmm.
covered in this stuff.
Yeah.
Because they don't have anywhere to put it. And so we really are just like drowning our whole planet in plastic. It's kind of crazy to
Hmm.
think about. I always like replay that kind of scene in my mind whenever I am shopping or, you know, convenience is so easy to get like sucked into. And
Hmm.
myself being like, oh, I'll just buy this. I like think about that. I'm like, no, I'm not going to buy it. You know?
Yeah, and that's one of our goals is to make these products more readily available. Because I think consumers want it. If you had that option in your local grocery store, would you choose it? If it was comparable in price, um, I think a lot of people would. Food packaging is one thing, I still struggle with. It's impossible to go grocery shopping and not have any plastic. It really is. You can try to do farmers markets, but then again, a lot of people, including myself, like we don't have great farmers markets in Las Vegas. So, it's not available to everyone to be able to shop like local produce. So you have to go to the grocery store. And if you need other things like sponges, oh, I'll just grab them here. So that's why we like to provide alternatives. And we have like really great rates, like free shipping over 35. And we have subscribe and save. So we try to make it practical and easy for people to really implement these swaps into their daily life.
Yeah, that's great. And I mean, you know, all of this stuff, especially like bathroom stuff, I think that's where I've struggled the most, is just swapping all that stuff out because there's so much
Mm-hmm.
plastic. But that's also most of it's like usable stuff, right? So
Mm-hmm.
obviously you could go to the site and just re-up on all of that at once. And then of course you're going to hit that free shipping. And so
Yep.
it's a no-brainer, you know?
Yeah, and it's important to use up what you already have. You don't want to like toss out everything just because it's in plastic. Use up what you have first, and then make the swap. A big problem. You talked about bathroom. A lot of like beauty products come in kind of a cheaper plastic blend. So a lot of the times, those plastic bottles that beauty products are in are not even recyclable. So then they end up, in landfills and then or plastics light, so it blows out of trucks on their way to the landfill and ends in our sewage drains and then ends up flowing into our water sources and out to the ocean. So it's a whole cycle.
Oh,
And
yeah.
if we can stop that from the source, like by purchasing it and show that, our dollars matter, and purchasing it from, sustainable companies that really care, then we can make an impact. We can change the way that we do things.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, just to touch on recycling again, you know, when we lived in Key West for 2 years, and this was a couple years ago, but I was shocked to find out that they don't actually have recycling in the Florida Keys. So
Oh my
there
gosh.
were recycling bins and things like that, but it was all just fake. It all
Oh,
just straight to the land.
what?
Yes. Isn't that unbelievable?
Wow. That's
Just because,
unbelievable. I mean, we just went to Montana last weekend and they don't recycle anything but cardboard. And it just feels so wrong to like put all that stuff in the garbage
it's
because things
unbelievable.
like glass, especially like aluminum, aluminum has a huge environmental impact because it has to be mined and then it has to be like shipped halfway across the world where that mining can be refined and then turned into aluminum. So it's a really great product. It's infinitely recyclable, but like its original impact to source it is very high. So I mean, having recycling, you're relying on, your city and state infrastructure, which is just not there, That's why recycling is kind of a lie, Unfortunately it is, and that we shouldn't rely on it. But I think we can work together to change some of those policies too. It blows my mind that Key West, though, because nature, and same with Montana, like, don't you want to preserve that nature and you don't provide these simple things that should be there?
I know. And the crazy thing is that a lot of these really beautiful places, their economy depends on that. Half of the jobs
Mm-hmm.
in Florida Keys are because of the coral reef, so if that
Yeah.
dies, there won't be any Florida Keys.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So,
Wow. Yeah. And then you're just hurting the animals too because they're ingesting that.
yeah.
They think it's food, all that plastic that ends up in the ocean, and then you're not going to have anything to look at the coral reefs.
Yeah. So again, it's just like, obviously we can't depend on other people to make a change, with the
Mhm.
recycling or even with like showing up somewhere to lunch. You never know if they're gonna have
Mhm.
plastic silverware or not. So all you can do is depend on what you're doing,
Yeah.
basically,
Yeah. Mhm. And just I guess you would just have to be more careful, especially about like not over consuming, only buying the things that you need and making sure that you're using it all the way up. So that you're not like, "Ooh, let's just try this new shampoo. Oh, I don't like it,"
Yeah.
"Oh, I don't like it. I'm just going to throw it away." And that's like double the impact, right?
Yeah. So speaking of this next question is, what is your business doing to make an impact? Do you have any like stats about plastics and stuff that you want to share with everybody about exactly what impact you're having?
I wish there was an easy way to measure that. I don't have any statistics to share. However, aside from like just, well, not just, but like making an impact with every individual's like plastic waste and just spreading awareness about that, that's really important to us. When we started, we did a lot of pop-up events because we wanted to talk to people about it and have a conversation about it. I'm not just here to sell you things. I want to tell you about it because a lot of people just don't know that it's an issue and then it just never goes away. They just are, we live busy lives and they're just trying to get through it day by day. So, a lot of it's awareness, in addition to, reducing plastic waste in your household. But then we also donate to ocean conservation and other environmental organizations, a portion of our profits.
Oh, that's
And yeah, and we have some really exciting things coming with that. I'm going to work with a new nonprofit that's very up and coming, and they're building mangroves and coral reefs all over the world. So mangroves help with, flooding. They're a carbon sink, so they absorb, carbon in the atmosphere. And then coral reefs, the importance of coral reefs. Um, so that's a huge new thing that we're hoping to make a huge impact with, a new company that or a new nonprofit that's doing that all over.
oh, that's great. So when people purchase from you, they're not only, making a direct impact with what they're doing in their life, but they're also making a more of a global impact too.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, my husband and I, we started this because first off, we wanted, to not work for somebody else anymore.
I
But
feel
we didn't,
that.
yeah, but we wanted to do something that we cared about. I don't know if you've ever worked for a company that you had to sell something that you just weren't that passionate about, but it's a lot different when you care about it and it's something you feel like you're working towards something. I get up every morning and I feel like we're making a difference and I'm doing, what I'm supposed to be doing. So that's a huge, huge passion of ours is to actually make an impact with the business that we build in a positive way.
Yeah, absolutely. I definitely feel that way too. I love the effect of like, having that ripple effect, the positive
Hmm.
effect that comes out of your business. Because, we all have to make money somehow to survive, obviously. And so if you can do that in a positive way,
Hmm.
I think that's amazing.
Yeah, and you're starting the conversation with people. You're getting, the word out there, and that's a great place to start.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's shocking to me how many people just don't know. And I mean, honestly, I didn't know most
Hmm.
enough until I went back to school in the Keys to learn about it. I was just shocked. I would come home every day and tell my now fiance, like, you wouldn't believe all this stuff, that's going on. And it was shocking for me. And so that's really what started all of this for me was just how shocked I was. And I thought other people need to know about this.
Hmm. Yeah, 100%. And and you're not a bad person if you don't know. Everyone has to start somewhere. Like I look back at pictures from my 20 and I didn't know and I didn't care and I have like all these plastic cups in my hand and drinking from straws and I just didn't even think about it. And now I'm like I try to avoid that as much as possible or I bring my own cups. So I'm not missing out on anything. I'm just preparing for it. I'm just planning ahead so I can reduce my waste overall, and that includes when I go places. I just try to, bring my reusables along. I even travel with them. So I'm not, harming another community that I may visit, by, contributing to the problem.
Yeah, and I mean, that can be as simple as just bringing a water bottle with you in your carry-on. You know,
Hmm.
that makes a huge difference because if you don't, then you're purchasing so many plastic water bottles on your trip.
Yeah, and there are refill stations like at every airport now. I don't understand people that don't bring their own water bottle to the airport and they buy it there because you're gonna spend like $8 on a water bottle and you're really just buying the plastic bottle. That
Yeah,
water is generally tap water, just put in a bottle.
I know. Oh my God.
So,
Actually, I just watched this whole documentary about that on Netflix. Have you seen
hmm.
Rotten on Netflix?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Have a whole episode about water, and I was just shocked. I mean, I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, and there's a lot. I don't know too much about it, but like there's a lot of like problems with water rights and companies like stealing water that, isn't really theirs for profit. It's all for profit. So um, that's kind of a scary thought. But I have seen a lot of aluminum bottles around now, which hopefully those are getting recycled and not just thrown away. Because if they're thrown away, then, that's a bigger impact than the plastic. But um, aluminum, I've seen it a lot now.
I honestly did not realize that aluminum had such a big impact. I'm gonna have to do more research into that. That's something you've taught me today.
Yeah, I mean it's only really if you're throwing it away. It's infinitely recyclable, so it's it's the best thing to be recycled and reused because it's going to be, reused. When you recycle plastic, it gets downcycled. You lose quality. Aluminum's not like that. You don't lose quality. And with glass is more abrasive on machinery, and if it breaks, then it can't be recycled. So glass is a little bit more challenging machinery, logistics wise to be recycled. It is highly recyclable. But aluminum, like 100% of aluminum can be recycled and reused, so that's pretty cool. But yeah, it really like I need to do more research on it as well. I've listened to a podcast that was talking about, how they mine and refine it. And I was like, whoa, this blew my mind. So definitely look into it because it's an interesting topic.
Yeah. And I guess, the key here really is like, single use type stuff. Like if you're going to use the product that's in it and just throw it away. Obviously, aluminum stuff in general is kind of easier to reuse. I know that like,
Hmm.
I've had like a little Burt's Bees um, lip balm or whatever, and then I'll use that little tin, like wash it out and use it to like hold earrings or stuff like that.
Yeah.
Um, so tins are pretty easy to reuse. So I guess that's also part of, you can think about when you're purchasing things like what can I reuse this for after I'm done with the initial use.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And that's just a change in mindset, right? You're thinking about after, after I eat this, can I reuse this? It's
Yeah, and
funny that you
jars
mentioned that
too.
because I definitely go for like a lot of things that are in like mason jars. I'm
Yeah.
like, I can reuse these mason jars for like everything forever. You can never have too many. I just, for storing like all your snacks and shopping in bulk and just storing like household items like in your garage, in your office, like, and you can see through it. It's just so nice to have everything organized that way. And so you're reusing the things that you buy all the time for food to eat. Um, and repurposing them throughout your home. So that's just a change in mindset, definitely, is to repurpose versus use something once and toss it or recycle it.
Yeah. So I want to ask you, if someone's just starting out, what would be the first item or kit that you would really recommend that they go for to make a big impact?
Well, for me, well, you mentioned a bathroom. We do have a bunch of zero waste kits. We have a bathroom one, a zero waste bathroom kit, which just has a little bit of everything for you to try and get started, reducing your waste in your bathroom. Or we have like a zero waste kitchen kit, which has just like it has produce bags. It has some cleaning brushes. I love our wood brushes. They work so much better than sponges, and they last a really long time, like a year, and then you can compost them. So we do have those kits to get started, but honestly, it's just start with the product that you run out of first. If you ran out of shampoo, swap to a shampoo bar, or if you're getting low on something, then that might be a good time to try out the sustainable option for that and see if you like it. But also, um, further on that conversation, if you're purchasing stuff online and you buy something that you don't necessarily like, try to gift that to somebody else versus return it. I think Amazon has taught us how to be like bad consumers because of the convenience of it. Like, oh, I'll just order that and see if it works, and if I don't like it, I'll return it. But where does it go?
Yeah.
Yeah, where does it go? Is it actually being resold, or is it going in a landfill? Because then you're just doubling, the waste problem. So just be mindful of, your online purchases and just start with something that you're getting low on and see if it works for you and your family, because everybody's different.
Yeah. And a lot of the products that are actually eco-friendly are better quality than
Mm-hmm.
other products. I was using a hairbrush, and I like, I've had it for a couple of years, and it was perfect timing that you sent me a wooden hairbrush. But just using it, I was like, oh, this is such better quality. Like, I feel like I'm not ripping my hair out of my head,
Oh, it's so gentle. It's the best hairbrush I've ever owned because my hair is really dry. I live in a really dry climate. So I have a constant moisture. I need more moisture in my life. Um and I just wouldn't even brush my hair because it's kind of wavy. I just like, just finger untangle it, but that hairbrush feels like a massage.
Oh, it
And
does.
it's
It's so
it's so
nice.
gentle. It doesn't break my hair. So I think, yeah, and it's gonna last a really long time.
And another example that I like to use is like when I first started on this journey of like trying to make swaps at home, I had
Mhm.
a big bag of pink plastic razors.
Uh,
And I was like, you know what? Like, so I could throw this out, but then I'd be like, not using the stuff I already have, which is worse. So it took
Yeah.
a year to go through my whole bag of pink razors, but I waited until I used them all. And then I
Yeah.
switched to a safety razor. And I felt like that
Yeah.
was a better move.
Oh yeah. Well, you can donate stuff like that too. Like women's shelters and homeless shelters are always looking for toiletries. Like always, always, always. We've done some stuff with like some teen shelters here in Vegas, or they have something around Thanksgiving and they put together like these toiletry kits and they need all of those things. So if you're wanting to get rid of it, that's a good way to get rid of it. And it goes to like a good place.
Wow, that's a good idea too. I hadn't thought about that.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. So, my next question for you is, how can our listeners help? What do you think is the best way for them to kind of incorporate what you've got going on into their lives and help the cause?
So a big part of it is just recognizing like the things that you're using on the regular and just being more mindful, about your purchases. Just thinking about, what went into making this and where's it going to go afterwards. Um, yeah, I think that's number one. And just feed yourself more information. I'm still learning, I just fall into this, oh my goodness, like this rabbit hole, like aluminum. I fell into that one. I like listened to a podcast and then was just reading about it. And once you start like learning about it, I think you'll get sucked in and you'll start realizing why this needs to be like a global movement, why we all need to be doing our part.
Yeah, and I feel like it's interesting because a lot of people recognize like, oh, you need to learn about your health because it's your only body that you have, right?
Mhm.
It's kind of the same concept. It's like we need to learn how to take care of our planet better because it's the only planet that we have.
Well, it does, yeah, and it affects our health too. People don't know, like when you drink out of a plastic water bottle, you're drinking plastic particles. So, what kind of impact is that going to have on your health in the long run? It also leaches chemicals into the water that you're drinking. So, swapping out those items, I mean, you're going to have an impact on your health as well. So, yeah, it's definitely like learning about it because it's good for not only the planet, but it's also good for your body.
Yeah. And one more thing I wanted to bring up, just because I'm thinking about this. I'm wedding planning at the moment, but
Hmm.
gifting others, like if you have the opportunity to give someone a gift, one of those travel kits, or
Oh,
bath
yeah.
kits would be perfect for a gift, just to kind of like show your family or friends about this, kind of get them into it and get them thinking about it. But I'm thinking about it for my wedding because we are getting married on Earth Day next year.
Oh, so cool.
And so we want to do these little, gift bags that maybe have stuff about Earth Day and like some intro items for them. So that's what I'm thinking about.
Oh, that's so cool. You're thinking about other people. You're so sweet. Yeah, I mean, I know like if you move into a new home too, like it makes a great like housewarming gift. Like here's a fresh start for your new home, let's start reducing waste there.
Oh, yeah.
I think there's also a misconception that swapping to like earth friendly products is going to be like way more expensive too. And I we try to keep our products like really affordable. And the thing is, like, some things are endlessly reusable. So, like, our silicone bags are a one-time purchase, and then you never have to buy them again. Versus if you're buying like Ziploc bags and throwing them away, then you have to buy them again. Or
Yeah.
like you swap to a safety razor, that's a huge money saver in the long run. Initial investment, yes, but then in the long run, those replacement blades cost nothing.
Oh, yeah. And I mean, even like, paper towels, sponges, all these things that you have to replace, if
Hmm.
like bamboo versions and stuff like that, they're actually antimicrobial, right? So you don't have to replace
Yeah.
them as often.
And if you do compost or have like a compost service in your area, we use a service in Las Vegas because we don't have a backyard that's big enough for it. But you reduce your waste so much. We take out our trash. Maybe once every other week, we have like one bag of trash for my husband and I and a dog, you know?
Wow. That
So
is
you're
very
saving,
inspiring.
yeah, so you're saving money in other places. You don't have to buy as many trash bags. You don't have as many chores, like you don't have to deal with the
Yeah.
trash all the time, So there's a benefit in other areas of your life too.
Yeah, and it's crazy, they market all that stuff as convenience, and in reality, it becomes inconvenient, to your
Hmm.
budget and, just your daily life.
Yep,
Kind of
100%.
ironic. Yeah. Awesome. So, is there anything that you would like to shout out for our listeners to follow and where to find you guys?
Yeah, so you can follow us on Instagram. That's our main platform, and it's at me.motherearth. I post a lot of eco-friendly tips and just hacks that I've learned, in addition to sharing, more about our products. And then our website is memotherEarthbrand.com. And we're also, I forgot to mention, 100% vegan. All of our products are vegan and cruelty free. So you won't find anything that's harming any animals, in addition to people. So we vet all of our manufacturers for fair labor and working practices. So we really care about the people, the planet, and all the animals on it.
Wow, you guys really are full circle. It's like you've thought of everything. I love it.
We live it ourselves, so I think that helps. We just are trying to do our best as individuals and hope that shines through.
Absolutely. I love that. All right. Well, I'm so excited to see what you guys come out with next, and I look forward to speaking with you again soon.
Thanks so much, Caitlin. Have a good one.
Thanks. All right. That's a wrap. Thanks so much, and thanks for tuning in, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed the podcast and learned some valuable information about conservation, eco swaps, and beyond. This is a constant process of learning, growth, and understanding, so I look forward to chatting with Amanda again. Please leave a review if you can, and go to www.eco-consciousdiver.com to check out other podcasts and all the other things we've got going on there. See you next time.